Okay, I'm going to start, if that's all right. I'm going to share my screen. So good afternoon, everyone. I'm Alison Tong, and I'm the Exec Director for Strategy, Innovation and Planning at Arden and Gem. And I've got colleagues here with me from the team. And it's great to have colleagues joining us across from the NHS. So really happy to have you with me. We've been doing a series of, as we're all in the thick of planning, a series of conversations just for half an hour on a Thursday. So we're coming to the end of our programme. So today we're just going to talk about connected planning, enterprise-wide planning. And so we've got a short video to share with you. And then next week, we've got our session on decarbonisation and planning for a different aspect of resources, which is carbon. So how do you plan for reduced carbon? So hopefully, if there's any of your colleagues who are interested in that, please pass the message on, because that is on next week. So I'll share my screen. So if you just hang on a second for me, allow me to get it up and running. So let me see if I can get that onto display. So just a brief introduction to the CSUs. We're coming together as one enterprise at the moment. So quite a large set of capabilities for the NHS, obviously not for profit, part of NHS England. So we have the NHS logo, roughly 7,000 staff or just under, and we provide a whole range of services, transformation support services, particularly focusing on value and value release. And our digital and business intelligence and data intelligence is really showcased today in terms of some of the work we're doing in terms of digital tools and integration around supporting better decision making. So what we're going to talk about is just, if you could, please post your name, organisation, any position you want to share in terms of your role or area of interest. That would be just great. And then we're going to cover off just a little bit about connected planning and how we can use data to really support planning. We're going to have a brief demonstration and then just pause a little bit on some of a couple of case studies that we've had and some of the benefits that we've seen. So one of the things I've been gathering over the last 12 months or so is from all of the systems we've engaged with is some of these pain points, and these are in colleagues' own words, really. And there's a number of pain points that I think we're all experiencing, really, in terms of how you ensure that you get this connectivity between operational planning, strategic intent, how you minimise the number of spreadsheets and the effort that's involved with planning. And actually make it much more informed and dynamic. How you work across boundaries, whether that's within an organisation, across departments, or whether across organisations in a system. And it can be very challenging. How you actually talk about and have confidence in your triangulation. And that's the focus for today. Often it's manual. We've been connecting with NHS England colleagues quite a bit, really, to try and look at the sort of metrics that they use to get confidence that the plans all stack up. And often the resource decisions or decisions that are taken are quite reactive and not always intentional. So, and how do you evaluate you're taking the right sorts of decisions in an ongoing way? So often, I mean, I'm in conversations all the time, and I've had a long career of planning, performance. I've done sort of all these roles, really: performance improvement, oversight, planning, and often, and been a finance director for a long time as well. So often these things are sort of in one conversation and not always clarified. So I've spent a little bit of time trying to set out, I think, what the difference is between these things. So over on the left-hand side, we've got a whole set of enterprise-wide systems. So your finance systems, ERP, your human resources systems. You'll have loads of scheduling and operational systems, clinical systems, and human resources systems. And they get connected often with lots of Power BI and Excel type interventions to try and make sense of the picture that you're seeing, really. What we're putting in front of colleagues today, and what our offer is to actually introduce an enterprise-wide planning and performance management system. In industry, this is a big, well-known and well-used technology. It's just that the NHS hasn't really adopted it. And what it creates is a single source of truth that's dynamically feeding decisions all of the time. It creates integrated decision making, really improves governance. And it actually enables you to have really clear transparency and manage different scenarios that are coming up. And planning and performance, good planning is the backbone of any organisation and system. It's something that should go on pretty much every day rather than once a year or once every 3 years, because it creates that clear understanding of your current position against your operating model. And your operating results, really, and provides that assurance and governance on agreed use of resources and interventions. So planning is planning, it's forecasting, it's governance. It allows you to say what we've decided, and it's actually embedded back in a plan. It's not necessarily a dashboard or a BI report that comes to the board. It's something that's actually sewn into your governance. And hopefully those who are here today understand that, but you'd be surprised the number of meetings I have where there's a dissonance between, if you like, a dashboard and what's a plan, really. And it actually enables you to have that oversight and deliver multiple bottom line accountability. So I'll talk in a minute about what those multiple bottom lines are. And if you've had chance of reading the guidance that came out in November, which is all going to feed into the oversight framework for the NHS, there's 2 insight boards papers, one for the ICB and one for providers. If you have a read of that, it speaks to what I'm talking about here, because it speaks to having that holistic view and grip. And being able to assure all stakeholders, what's what's coming around the corner, and actually you're taking a very holistic view in terms of running the planning system and running your organisation. Let me check I can move this forward. Oh yeah. So when we talk about connected planning, I am effectively looking at it in 3 ways. Firstly, from an outside looking in, how are we assuring ourselves about the delivery of the triple aim plus social value? Today, I've just caught, when I was having my coffee at lunchtime, I've just caught the Prime Minister's speech on the mission-based government, and it's something I am very interested in. And what that really endeavours to take a holistic view of how do you actually have that single mission? How do you ensure that you're binding all parties together to ensure that you're delivering that clear goal and clear set of connected decisions under that goal? So as we look at who we're making decisions for, we've got our board level decisions down to operational level. We've got decisions that run across a pathway of care, or we've got decisions that are really important for a population or for a place. And how we make better decisions is by connecting these elements of resource planning together, whether it be finance, workforce, all of the different transformation programs we have, to deliver the outcomes and the mission that we're actually here to deliver across multiple timeframes, monthly, yearly, or 3 yearly, as an example. And it's important that we actually test our decisions constantly, dynamically. So we're looking at the future, constantly looking at the future and informing it by the past. I'm very, very interested in how we use data and automation and intelligence to give us much more prediction about the future, and be able to then use that and test that in a rigorous way against the different contexts, whether it's internal changes to our decisions, or whether it's the external environment that changes, and we can actually test all of our planning frameworks against those different dimensions of the future. So just getting to the importance of, if I described it earlier, the enterprise-wide technology, we're into the layer here of Anaplan, which is one of our partners that we work with, and they're one of the leading planning software providers, and work with some major blue chip companies, and are starting to come into the NHS, and we're very pleased to be partnering with them. we actually integrate a whole range of data sources, whether they be local, national, to come together in terms of this data hub around which we've built a series of models. And we're just going to set this out in a minute through a short video. And each of those models integrate together to give you that holistic view of your plan and the decisions that you're making around that plan. And then you can provide reports into the various decision-making body. But before we go into the technology in a little bit more detail, I just want to talk about the importance of this being a team sport. Planning is a team, it's a function, it's a really important function. It's actually spread across several corporate entities and other operational entities. You'll have your finance lead as finance planner who's looking at budgets and forecasts. You'll have your people or workforce planner that's looking at recruitment, retention, future skill mix, etc. You've got your performance or quality lead and transformation lead. So we're looking at all of the different programs for improvement. How do we improve our results? What are the business cases we're handling? What are the transformation programs? What are the quality and efficiency programs we're handling? And then lastly, we've got our operational leads who are trying to manage demand against capacity and daily, weekly, looking at resource management and scheduling deployment. All of those are part of a single team that supports and need to be supported together. How do you ensure that everyone is on the same page, really, in terms of the decisions that they need to make in their job, but making them in an integrated way? So what we've developed is a tool and a support repository, really, for planning. And we've actually got a landing page which describes all of these different roles and actually the sort of work that you need to do in your role, whether you're a workforce planner, finance activity, productivity, and how that actually all comes together to enable you to get a holistic plan. We have set out a range of planning tools, and we've developed planning tools to help you look at the future, do this prediction, as I say, kick the tires on different scenarios. What's coming around the corner? What could we do to improve things? Do we need to publish a new initiative? Do we need to commission some different activity to bring our results back in line? But this enables you to have a sandbox to be able to look at those different scenarios and look at those different tools. But we also have something which gives you a North Star, which actually gives you this single source of truth, because here on this page, I've set out one of the key elements, which is these three plans, really: your finance plan, workforce plan, and activity plan. And what we've created is a dashboard which helps you see whether they're in alignment or misalignment. And this is run dynamically all the time, right from the shop floor up. So you can roll from a department level up to a division, up to a board, up to a system level. So you're able to get that absolute assurance that your plans are connected. But also, if they're not connected, how can you get them back into balance and back into alignment? But more important than that, are these plans giving you the results that we need, whether those results are for the population, for the commissioning bodies, whether they're for your board or your department, patients, carers? What are the results that we're trying to achieve? And if we aren't aiming for the right results, how do we get them back on track? And again, these are insights that are all part of the system. So I know my colleague Chitra is on the call, but I think I'll just play the video just so we have that. I think it takes about 5 minutes. So if you just bear with me.
Alison, I think you need to enable the sound, please.
Sorry, did you say something?
Yes, you need to enable the sound, the audio.
I don't know how to do that, sorry. But if Chitra is on, maybe she can do something, because I'm not sure how to do that, sorry.
Claude, do you want to play it from your end, Claude?
Hi everyone. In this demo, I'll showcase how to create an initiative. Hi everyone. In this demo, I'll showcase how to create an initiative in Anaplan, highlighting the integration between various models and ensuring strong security through an approval workflow. The starting point is the Anaplan's landing page, which provides clear instructions to guide planners through the planning process. It includes navigation linked to planning areas such as workforce, finance, activity, etc. Let's navigate to Assurance page using this link. This page illustrates how various models are interconnected by pulling data from finance, workforce, activity, productivity, performance, and initiative models for comparison. For instance, in the Workforce Planning Assurances grid, the whole time equivalent from workforce model shows 345, while the whole time equivalent from finance model shows 342, resulting in a variance of 3. Similarly, we can observe variances between the forecast and the revised budget. These variances are displayed across different sections, including finance, activity, productivity, and performance. In the Initiative Planning Assurances grid, the line item Total Number of Initiative with Gaps tracks initiatives that may fall short of targets. For instance, an initiative created earlier in the year could underperform, which would be flagged here, indicating the need for attention. This page features visual indicators that draw attention to key metrics and significant variances between plans. For demo purposes, the focus will be on creating a new initiative rather than analyzing the specific numbers in detail. I'll start by navigating to the workforce page using this link. Let's consider a scenario for September. The workforce forecast shows we need 60 whole-time equivalent, but the budget only accounts for 40 whole-time equivalents. To address this shortfall, I'll create an initiative to increase the budget. I'll now navigate to Planning Tool page using this link. This page serves as a central hub, providing access to various planning tools. From here, I'll proceed to Create Initiative page. Once we land on Create Strategic Initiative page, I'll be able to enter all the necessary details that is required to create an initiative and click on Create Initiative action. For this demo, I have created an initiative called Workforce Demo, which only impacts the workforce. But in a real scenario, initiatives could have multiple impacts such as workforce, finance, activity, or other areas. The goal of this initiative is to increase the whole time equivalent from 40 to 60. Once the initiative is defined, it can be sent for first level of approval by clicking Submit. Additionally, there's also an option to send notification to approvers, prompting them to review the initiative. Approvers will receive an email with a link to Approve Strategic Initiative page. Here, they can view all the initiative that has been sent for approval. The approvers can review the initiative, approve or reject them, and enter the necessary comment. The system records the approval history, including the date, initiative proposer, approver, and the comments. Once the first level of approval is complete, the next step is to submit the initiative for second level of approval using this action. Additionally, send notification for second level of approvers can also be used to notify the next set of approvers. The second level of approvers can view the Approve Revised Budget page. Here, the fixed budget of 40 whole-time equivalent now includes an initiative impact of 20 whole-time equivalent, revising the total to 60 whole-time equivalent. They'll also see the corresponding pound amount adjustments. Once satisfied, they can approve the initiative, enter necessary comments, and click Submit Sign Off. Next, we'll navigate to the Approve Strategic Initiative Level 2 page. Consider a scenario where an initiative impacts multiple areas such as finance and activity. For example, take an existing initiative which is titled Finance and Activity Test, which has the status of rejected. This is because approval is required from both finance and activity teams. If either area rejects the initiative, the entire initiative is automatically rejected. But in this demonstration, Workforce Demo Initiative was created with an impact solely on the workforce and has been fully approved. To finalize this process, click on Send Approved Budget to Workforce Model, which updates the revised budget in the Workforce Model. Notification can also be sent to the initiative proposer confirming full approval. Let's head back to the Workforce page to view the updated numbers. As you can see, we have successfully added 20 whole-time equivalent through an initiative, bringing the revised budget to 60 whole-time equivalent. The corresponding pound amount are also updated. This demonstration highlights Annaplan's comprehensive capabilities in ensuring connected planning, secure approvals, and seamless adjustments. Additional features such as scheduling imports, automatic integration of data across systems, and enhancing workflows with intuitive notification can be tailored to meet specific business needs. Thank you.
That's great. Thank you. I know Chitra's on the call anyway, but you know, just to say, I've used this. I actually have been on, and you know, we've built it as a platform for real planning, because it's something I've tried to pour my own knowledge into, and to think about those different roles and the different sign-offs. But the most important, that this is the assurance and the governance that shows the connected planning that's happening operationally at a department level. So those sign-offs go on in your multidisciplinary team with all those different roles that you have to sign those things off and ensure that your plans are all in sync, but also ensure that your forecast is on track. So you know, you've got your plan on plan discussion. So are the plans on plans actually in alignment, and is your forecast against that plan in alignment or not? And both of those things can be influenced by your initiatives that you actually drive through and look at. And those initiatives are the most important thing in terms of the bridging of plans and bridging of forecast performance against plans. So hopefully you found that of help. What we haven't showed you today is some of the predictive capabilities and the AI-driven elements in it, which I think if you envisage that you're going to have a big data hub here that's actually pooling lots of data from your individual systems, the ability for that to be used in a really intelligent way actually is quite impressive, I think, for the future. What we're also looking to do is to integrate the performance and benchmarking information from Model Hospital, so that as you work backwards from setting your performance goals on the plan, you've got the ability to be able to benchmark some of that and to be able to see whether that performance objective is actually in line with Model Hospital intelligence based analysis. And the productivity information that sits behind these plans enables you to look at implied productivity and cost efficiency. So we've got lots and lots of tools in here which are able you to check whether your productivity is improving or deteriorating month on month against those sets of assumptions. So the idea is to create that single platform, which is a go-to place for planning and performance improvement. It's a tool that all members of different teams can use, and it's able to be a single source of truth, really, to enable you to really start to sort of improve that knowledge and decision making. The only thing I was going to do just to finish off with is just we actually developed one of our tools within an A&E department in OneTrust, and we have if you go to that last slide, we just sort of just talk about the benefits that came from that. It's okay, Claude, I'll do it. It's fine. I'll pick it up. So these are the Model Hospital metrics, and we're building in productivity metrics throughout the system. one of the key things that came out, we just did an A&E project in one hospital, just as an illustration of this. And one of the things that came out was everything I've just said, really. And this is, again, from the shop floor. The improved confidence that they had because they got this, in the assurance, the ability to optimize a resource allocation. Something that would have taken days and weeks to manipulate was done in seconds, really. This particular case study, which I think I've spoken about on a previous webinar, was really about integrating activity finance, performance money around an A&E, looking at agency staffing. And we talked about that on one of our workforce planning events that we had. So if anybody wants to find out more about that particular project or our workforce planning and productivity, please just let us know. And the important thing is that when we're looking at anything like planning, we work backwards. We work backwards from the results, and we work on this mission-based way of thinking. What are the key results we need to deliver for these different bottom lines? So what are the different bottom lines we're trying to achieve? What's the social value bottom line we're trying to achieve? What's the care delivery bottom lines? And we can actually accomplish this through this integrated and connected planning platform. I think it's a really exciting innovation. I'm very pleased to be introducing it to you over this series of webinars. If you would like to find any more about this, please get in touch. We've got some contact details there. Our previous webinars are on the YouTube channel. But the best thing is just pick up the phone. We'll come and have a chat with you and just talk to you about it, really. Our next webinar, or last webinar in this series, is next week. And this is on decarbonising care pathways, which is another bottom line lens and probably very relevant for us right now, just on the back of COP29. So hopefully you'll get some of your colleagues to come along to that, which would be wonderful. So thank you very much. If you've got any questions or points, please pop them in the chat, because we're very near time. I do like to make sure people have got a couple of minutes transferring to their next thing, and greatly appreciate you spending half an hour with me this lunchtime. Thank you very much. Thank you.